But before we talk about the Seder, let's talk about Erev Pesach momentarily, a little bit. We're not going to get into the whole Erev Pesach this year, but just the matzahs. We know that the Gemara says that if someone eats matzah early, it's a very interesting Gemara. Gemara says, "Kaboyel arusasei bebeis chamav." It's like a person that is engaged and is going to get married at night, and he's boiled his future wife too early. That's the comparison. The Gemara goes, "You eat the matzah, eating the matzah too early." It's a very interesting comparison. You have to understand that, but some say it's even a lav, some say it's a serious offense to eat the matzah before the right time. So therefore, we don't eat matzahs Erev Pesach at all.
How about the egg matzahs? Is there the same din with that?
Egg matzahs does not have the same din. It's but egg matzahs is another problem that we don't eat egg matzahs. Pesach.
No, over Pesach, the week before. Can you eat?
No, I'm not talking about the week before. I'm talking about Erev Pesach now.
Erev Pesach.
I'm talking about Erev Pesach, Friday. I'm not talking about the week before Pesach. We'll get to that in a minute. Erev Pesach, Friday. So after the Zman Issa Chametz, we don't eat anything that we wouldn't eat on Pesach.
Okay.
And matzahs we can't eat. So,
how about stuff made from matzah meal?
So you can eat stuff from matzah meal, kneidlach and things like that. Some people, other things, but no one's making, I think, on that until Shah Sivas. Once you hit the 10th hour, that's after 9 Shah's Manias in the day, which is around 4 o'clock. Exactly, to look at the schedule. Then we don't eat any more anything except for. If you're hungry, you take a little.
Baked?
It's baked as a shiloh.
Right.
It's baked as a shiloh. A lot of them is no cool on that.
Like anything that's fried with matzah meal, you can't eat after. You can't eat after 4 o'clock.
It's deep fried, especially with a lot of oil in it. What?
So is that a yes or a no? I didn't catch
what?
That. After 4 o'clock, you can't eat anything that's like creme
no, you shouldn't
that
eat.
kind
You
of
shouldn't
stuff?
eat before you want to come to the Seder. Isn't in Geschmack and hungry. You don't eat after Shah Sivas. And by the way, this applies also to the second day Pesach. One should eat Shal Shudas before the 10th hour. You don't eat after the 10th hour, which is about what time? It's 4 o'clock? What time is it? 4:34. 4:34. Okay. It's 4:34. So until 4:34.
I think Apple wants to talk to you. Google or somebody. The reference that Google wants to talk to you.
So what was the story then in regard to egg matzah before Pesach?
So before Pesach you can eat egg matzah. Before Pesach you can even eat. So there's a minute. Okay, we'll get to that. So Erev Pesach you don't eat matzahs. Erev Pesach we don't eat matzahs. Period.
What's the Indian after 4 o'clock? What is
Shah Sivas. It's the 10th hour of the day.
I get that, but what is the issue?
You wanna come to Pesach with a geschmack, eat the matzah. Hungry, a geschmack.
So it's not necessarily with the matzah meal itself.
It happens to be by every Yom Tov, but it's a little more common by Pesach. And therefore, if you're hungry, you can eat minei tagima, you can eat things, but not anything that has matzah meal. You wouldn't eat that. Now, this is all after the Shah that it's asur to eat chametz. Before the Shah that's asur to eat chametz, you can eat chametz. After that time, after the time, whatever's posted that you can't eat chametz anymore, so then you can't eat chametz. So there's 2 times: the time you can't eat chametz and the time you have to have the chametz burnt by it. 2 separate times. But after the time you can't eat chametz, so then you're basically finished. You can eat, kneidlach and things like that, but not matzah. Now, there's a minhag not. Some people have a minhag. There's a minhag not to eat matzah. Some people eat from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, don't eat matzah. Some eat matzah months before. There's different minhagim not to eat matzahs. But Yashav writes, Scheiner said the same thing, that chametz matzahs you can eat. In other words, you buy matzahs that are not for Passover use, that you could eat before Erev Pesach. You shouldn't eat that matzah either. Even before the Zman Achilas chametz, you shouldn't eat that. That's matzah. It could be it's not chametz, it could be this chametz. You have to know. So you shouldn't eat that the whole day of Pesach, but even in the morning. But the day before Pesach, the 2 days before, Thursday and earlier, even if you have a minhag not to eat any matzahs, but chametz matzahs you could eat.
So you're referring to the egg matzahs? Is that what you're saying?
I'm referring to regular matzahs.
Regular matzahs?
Manischewitz matzahs that are not for Passover use.
Not for Pesach use. Is that what you said?
So interesting.
It's chametz. It's chametz.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole shaila. If you have a little chametz mixed into the matzah, the whole thing gets a Torah's chametz on it.
Is there such thing as chametz matzah?
Yeah, sure.
You go to the store, you buy matzah, so yeah, it's how it says on it. Not for Pesach.
Not really. That's interesting. Never noticed that.
So would that include this?
Because they're not
egg matzah?
makbid. To clean the machines every 18 minutes.
Is there how does that apply to egg matzahs as well?
Egg matzah, sure you can eat.
Okay.
Now, these one should be careful knowing this, that there are chametzik matzahs and not chametzik matzahs. When you go to the store to buy for Pesach, make sure you buy not chametzik matzahs, not the chametzik matzahs. I mentioned on Shabbos, any product you buy in the store, don't rely on the shelf that it's in. Look at the thing for the hechsher. Because people come and buy stuff and deposit things on other shelves, and even things they put on the shelves, and they have certain hechsherim, and maybe, you have to know, maybe it's for Sfardim only. There's all different kinds of things that end up on a shelf. The shelf is not a raya. You have to look at the thing and read what it says. And you can have things that look exactly like, Cheerios, I don't know. You have things that look exactly, you can't tell the difference before you eat it, at least between chametz and matzah.
You have to eat it, you definitely tell the difference.
So you have to check. It happened to me once. I bought a candy, and afterwards I realized that it wasn't Pesach. Things get mixed up on the thing. You have to be very careful. Okay, that's as far as our Pesach. We're going to go through the Seder a little bit today.
And what about kidneyot? Can Ashkenazim eat kidneyot after the hour before Pesach?
No. Can't eat kidneyot. After the Zman Achilas Chametz, you can't eat. After the Zman it's also to eat Chametz. Whatever you can't eat on Pesach, you can't eat on Erev Pesach. It's different than other things. It's not just a Chomer of Erev Pesach. It's a Issa Dorais in the Torah. But Yom Rishon is referring to Tashbis Yisar. Vatechem is referring to Erev Pesach. There's a Issa Tal Chametz or whatever. So after that, the Zman. And there's an Issa Tal Chametz. And once that Issa comes, you can't have any Chametz or any Issa that applies on Pesach applies the same thing on Pesach. Shaila and Bittul, if it's Mashu, that's a different Shaila. But as far as eating Chametz, now, okay, so last week we spoke a lot about the matzah, different types of matzah there are, and what they do and all that. Now we're going to go more into the Seder. Now we'll get into the Shir Achilas matzah when we get to that part of the Seder. So we're going to start with the first thing. Certain minhagim you have that we do. First, there's a minute to. First, we set the table. Okay, talk about setting the table first. First, we set the table. So we have a. A Seder plate, we call it the kaira. The kaira has on it the things that we use during Pesach. Now, the point of the kaira is really that a person has set up in front of him a plate of everything he's going to need during the Suda. Normally we don't just use the plate because the plate is small and you have a lot of people by the Suda. So you need a lot of kazesim of Mara, for example. So it's not going to fit on the kaira, all of it. So you just put a little bit on the kaira and then you have the Mara. But technically the kaira is set up that you should have what you need for the Seder. So you have on the kaira, different minhagim how to set it up, but you have the Mara, you have the charoises, you have the Mara, you have the charoises, you have the karpas on there. There's two types, right? You don't have the karpas on there. So you have you have the Mara and the chazeres. You have the Mara that you use for the Mara, and you have the Mara that you use for the koirach, set up on the kaira. And you have the charoises. You have the charoises, and the charoises is zeicha for the tit that they what used. Now, as we mentioned on Shabbos, this week of Shabbos, so you really have to make sure that these things are made before Shabbos, because on Shabbos it's a little difficult to make all these things. You have we start in the Shir and doing on Shabbos. You have Shabbos Teichen, you have Shabbos Lush. So the Mara for short is really in source if you don't grate it before Shabbos. On Yom Tov, if you get it on the Scheiner, you do it onto the table or tilt it a little bit. But on Shabbos you can't grate the Mara. And the charoises could be cut, but not into such small pieces. And lush, you have a real problem with lush. You have to make a soft blue racha. So it's better make sure these things are made before Pesach. It's made from tapuchim, right? The general minhag is you make from apples. The pasuk in Shir Hashirim. The Klal Yisrael is compared to apples, the puche, right? Also, that says a medrash that when the Pharaoh wanted to kill the kids, so they put them out into the field, and the Malach came and buried them under and hid them from the Mitzrayim. They came looking for them and raised them, and then when they got older, they came back. So it was a tremendous nace. So that's then you put in different spices and things, different nuts. That's the charoises.
What's the charoises in terms of grading on Yom Tov on Pesach? What's the issue with putting on? I think you mentioned putting on an angle. What is that?
No, when you're grading the maror, so you have to do it a little bit of a shini if you do it on Yom Tov.
Gotcha.
You have to angle it or do it instead of into a plate. You do it on, most people just do it on the table, on the flat surface rather than doing it onto a plate. If you do it on Yom Tov, you do it before Yom Tov, you're okay. So for the second day.
Don't cry.
Now, you also have the Shnei Tavshilin you have on there. You have the egg and you have the zroya. The minhag is to the zroya is different kind of zroya. So you get a cow's one as a geshmak, but a lamb's one. But most people use a chicken, either the leg or the wing, different minhagim what they use for the zroya, and you roast it. You roast it zeichel for the korban Pesach. Now it's not the korban Pesach; it's a zeichel for the korban Pesach. But we don't eat any roasted things on the Leil Seder. You don't eat roast. You only eat things that are cooked. But this is roasted, so people shouldn't think you're eating the korban Pesach. We'll talk about this maybe later in the Seder and as we go along. But people shouldn't think you're eating the real korban Pesach. So we don't eat anything roasted. We only eat cooked. The person wants to cook for his for the Shulchan Aruch. So you could, as long as there's water, a significant amount of water on the bottom of the pot, that doesn't have a din of roast, that has a din of ready cooking. So if you cook in a pot and you just have water on the bottom, like an inch or 2 inches of water to cover, that is already considered cooking. But we don't eat roasted. Some people roast this right straight away. Some people cook it first and then roast it a little. But at the end of the day, you could just put it on the stovetop, and roast it. It doesn't have to be completely roasted. It's just charach is enough. It's the bottom.
You tell me what your definition of roasting is, because every Pesach meal I've ever had in my life, we've had roasted chicken and roasted turkey.
You can't have roast on Pesach meal. You can only have if it's cooked. So you have to make sure there's water in there. It's baked. Maybe it's baked. Whatever you make, it's baked.
Yeah. So what's the difference between baking and cooking?
The baking is also
roasting.
a problem. Baking is
Baking
also a problem. It's also a problem. You have to put water on the bottom.
The juice.
Sauce. You have to put enough, significant amount of sauce that it's considered cooked, not roasted. You don't eat roasted. And if you want to make some mikdash, the korban Pesach was eaten kiyim fliyesh, only roasted, but we don't do that. Right. You put a little, like an inch or 2 of water on the bottom. It cooks out. So put 2 inches. Okay. Now the egg there was different minhagim. The Ramah brings down the Goyim brings down a minute to eat the egg during the Seder. Many people eat the egg during the Seder. Some people don't. But the zroya you can't eat during the Seder. You can eat it the next day, but you can't eat during the Seder because it's roasted. But the egg, even though we also roast it, you also roast the egg. You could cook it first and then put it on the fire again just to get it to finish it off. It gets a little brown from the fire, and then you put it on the you put it on the kaira, and that's the egg. That's zeichel chagiga, because in the time of the Beis Hamikdash we ate korban Pesach was nechal al seva. You first ate the korban chagiga with it, the korban chagiga. So that was the egg is zeichel for the korban chagiga. So that's why it's that. But it's not meat, so therefore you could eat it even though it's roasted.
On the first?
During the Seder, yeah. Okay, so that's that.
Should you eat it?
What?
Should you eat it?
It's a minute, right?
Some people are like to eat it. Some people like not to eat it. Moshe has all true. I never have a chance to go through it, but the Ramos says there's a minute to eat it. The guy needs to eat it. Some people don't eat it.
Would they all be like? I know that some people, you'll always see there like a roasted egg on the Seder plate, and some people, will then have all their other eggs that have already been peeled.
Right.
Should they also be roasted?
No.
Only the
Why do you
one.
have other eggs?
Just one of the power of it.
There's got to be enough for everybody.
For what?
If you're going to eat it on the
You don't need
first
to
night.
roast the other.
Why are you eating it? It's not a minute.
Didn't I hear? Forgive me. I thought I heard you say that.
No, that egg on the Kairos, some people have a minute to eat.
But eggs other than that, you wouldn't eat.
Before
Eat anything?
Before Shulchan Aruch, we usually, after the Marv, we usually eat a hard-boiled egg.
What?
It's like a minute, eat a hard-boiled egg.
When?
But I
Salt
guess
water.
there's no need to roast that.
But after the Marv, before Shulchan Aruch. Before the meal.
That's this egg, eating this egg.
It's not enough to go around. They have a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs. Not that egg. That egg with
Hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah,
Okay. What?
There's only one egg on the table.
Right.
Right.
You want everyone has to have an egg.
Oh, everybody
Right.
has to have an egg. Why
That's
is
what
there
he's talking
an
about.
egg?
The
That's what he's
day
talking about.
Schling was told.
That's what he's talking about.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't do these things.
You don't do one on the plate.
Yeah, no.
Fine. So let's move on. So we have the Seder. So the minute to wear kittel. The minute to wear kittel by Leil Seder. Whenever you wear kittel, there's always opposite reasons to wear. Either it's like a melech, it's a ashiras, you wear some white, you wear white clothing, a simcha, like a chassan used to wear noig levushim, they used to wear white. And other people wear it because of the, avelis. Why is there avelis on Leil Seder?
That was Malchus.
Because it's you don't want to be nisgar. You hear some tashivas, you want to be nisgar. We do different things which are the same night as the first night of Pesach, same night as Tisha B'Av. Same night as Tisha B'Av. Because today we don't have the same. Today we don't have the base of Aksha. We're not eating a korban Pesach. We're missing. Some people wear. But Maisa, it's nafkaminas of Oval could wear a kittel. If you're wearing because of sad reasons, an Oval could wear it. If you're wearing because of Simcha, Oval can't wear it. Maisa, the minigas Oval doesn't wear. Oval doesn't wear.
For different reasons.
What?
You shouldn't get scared. The reason why Oval doesn't wear it is you shouldn't get scared. He's weak emotionally.
It's tachwichin. Get depressed.
That's the Mishnah said by Scheiner.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the happy reason we wear a kittel?
Because it's white. It's white clothing. It's malachim. Also, it's like malachim. It's
I was thinking sort of like Malchus or something.
yeah. But the minig is Oval doesn't wear. It's machlokes, but Oval doesn't wear a kittel.
Angel's not free.
Minig is a chos in the first year. Chos in the first year doesn't wear a kittel. Some people, everybody wear a kittel. Some people, only the one that's running the Seder wears a kittel. Different minhagim, where the only one that's running the Seder wears a kittel. Everybody wears a kittel. But we don't agree. That's a minig to wear a kittel.
So what's the idea about this malachim? They're not free. So it's white like malachim.
We're pure from sin. We're on a very high level. Yeah. Okay. So this is where wear kittel. Now that's what the kid says when the tata come to him from shul, right? He put on kittel. Okay. So put on right. No?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Or just another thing for the kid to ask, is that what you're saying?
The kids say the charuzim. They say before each thing what
they
you're
say
doing.
that they give the Seder. They list off the Seder.
Okay, the first thing we have is Kaddish. Kaddish is Kiddush. The Seder is a Seder. Kaddish Rochas Kampas Yachatz, right? There's a Seder. There's an order how we do things on Pesach. So the first thing is Kiddush. Kiddush is, like we mentioned in the Shabbos, it's one of the Daled Kaisis. It's one of the Daled Kaisis. So besides serving the mitzvah of Kiddush, it's also serving the purpose of one of the mitzvahs of Daled Kaisis.
Why do we call it kaddish if it's kiddush?
Kaddish.
It's a verb.
Yeah.
Kaddish. To sanctify. You're saying Kiddush.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Look how there's two sides.
Kaddish. Make Kiddush. So make Kiddush. So this year, both Kiddushes are a little interesting because the first one is Shabbos and Yom Tif, and the second one is Yakana, is Yan Kiddush Ner Avdallah. It's Avdallah the second night. First night is Shabbos. They have to make Meichul also and Kiddush. And the second night is Havdalah. Okay? If a person forgets to do Shabbos, he has to redo the Kiddush and drink again and everything. He's not Yotzeh. If a person, we mentioned in Shabbos, a person forgets to have Havdalah the second night, it's a whole machlokes what you do.
Yes, good. What about Shalom Aleichem and all that?
Oh, yes. So, yeah. We'll get to that. So we'll get to that in a moment. So if a person forgets the Havdalah the second night, so then it's machlokes what you do, because you have to eat the karpas in the middle. But the Maisa, you can make the Havdalah part. What's the second kais? The second kais by Gol Yisrael. After he says Gol Yisrael, he can make a Havdalah.
Well, I just missed this. If you forget to do it,
forget to do the Havdalah.
Then you can do it on the second course.
The second course, and you can eat the karpas. Shulchan Aruch holds you can eat the karpas before, without, even though he didn't make Havdalah. But you don't have to redo the Kiddush for Havdalah. But for Friday night, if you forget the Kiddush, if you forget Vayechulu, you just read from regular Yom Tov, you have to say Kiddush over again. You're not Yotzei.
Everybody said, in my family, I just realized now, and suddenly occurred to me that it's a bit weird. Everybody gets up, holding the cross, and everybody's saying Kiddush together.
Okay, hold on. We'll get to all the minhagim. So what are the minhagim of Kiddush? So let's do. Well, I just want to go through. Everybody has different minhagim, and Avada, every minhag has some source. But the general minhagim. So most people do not say Shalom Aleichem and other things that you sing before Friday night for various reasons. Shalom Aleichem for the Malachim that's coming that Friday night with Pesach together with Rebbeinu Shalom Alein. Loyde Malach, Loyde Shliach. So many people have a minhag, you don't say Shalom Aleichem. I think that's the basically accepted minhag. There are other minhagim. What? Regular Yom is also a Shiloh. Some people say it, some people don't say it. But on Pesach, most people don't say Shalom Aleichem.
Eshes Chayil?
Eshes Chayil either, right? They just go straight to Kiddush. Also, because it's late, I mean the literature
you
is
want it
it's
to be
very
a
late,
start.
and you want to start, the kids are going to sleep, so you start with Kiddush. Now, one point before we get to the other minhagim, one point is that one has to start Kiddush after the Zman. You cannot start before the Zman, and there are a few reasons for this given in Halacha. It's based on Trumas Hadeshen, that you don't start the Kiddush till the Zman, whatever your Zman is, that you hold that Tzeis HaKachavim, you don't start before Tzeis HaKachavim. It's one of the Dalet Kaises, and the 4 Kaises are part of the mitzvahs of the Laila, and the matzah is hukish to come Pesach is only eaten by night, and the Haggadah is set on the matzahs, and we'll get more back to this later. So for different reasons, the Dalet Kaises also, at least the first Kais has to be done before after Tzeis. We'll talk about the Kais by Chatzos later, but after Tzeis, it has to be done after Tzeis HaKachavim. So whatever the Zman is, you can't really start earlier. Which I don't think really happens ever anyways, until you get home and get started until Tzeis. But you can't start before Tzeis. It has to be the Kiddush and the drinking of the wine has to be done after the Zman of Tzeis, whatever that Zman is, 45 minutes, 55, 60, 72, whatever you hold. That's what you have to do. What?
People wait 72.
Yeah, people wait 72, yeah. It's Drabanan, yeah, but it's a chelik of the, it's together with the rest of the Seder, which you wait.
Seder is 8:30.
So that has to be done that time. Now, the minhag of Kiddush to stand or sit, so Hagam, different people have different minhagim all year, standing, sitting, different things. So, but there's machlokes here on Pesach. Chak Yaakov and others say that you sit, Kiddush you sit, because we're there cheres. So you sit, when you drink for sure you're leaning, but I'm talking about you're making the Kiddush. So even though normally Vayechulu, many have makes a stand, but Dafka Friday night because Vayechulu, but the Chak Yaakov and others say that no, on Leil Seder you should sit during Kiddush.
Even Vayechulu?
Even Vayechulu. Chulu you should sit during Kiddush. What?
Even it's Eidos.
Even though it's Eidos and even Vayechulu, we sit down. We sit down. Not we sit. I'm saying as a melech. We sit by Kiddush and do everything sitting down. Nonetheless, the Kavonas Arizal, both from Arizal is to stand during Kiddush. There are some that go with the Minhagei. By Arizal, they stand during Kiddush, even Pesach night, the whole Kiddush. So there's Yesh v'Yesh, but the Mishabur says, like the Chak Yaakov and others, that one should sit during Kiddush Friday night, even Friday night, saying by Kiddush by the Seder. Okay, drinking is Be'aseba, like we discussed. Oh, how many people say it? So now, each person has to have his own kais. The Shabbos HaGoldrush upstairs is a Machlokes, Tosfos, and the Rambam. Whether you might see everybody has to bring their own kais. Halacha L'maaseh, we all look at the Rambam, each person has to have their own kais. Now, the shaila, how you facilitate that? In other words, does everybody make their own kiddush? Or could one person make the kiddush and be moitzi the other guy, and then he'll drink, or she'll drink? So there's different minhagim. There's different minhagim whether everybody makes kiddush together, everybody makes separately. It depends how much time you want to kill. Everybody can make it separately. One person could.
That'd be good for about an hour. Yeah.
One person, by yes, everybody make it separately. Finally, I said, the kids have to make it together. The whole night making kiddush. But otherwise, especially by the noshim, many have a minute that the women don't make their own kiddush to just moitzi with the husband's kiddush, but they hold the kais. They should hold the kais while the kiddush is being made, because they need a kiddush ala kais also. So they're drinking their kais. So even though it could be kiddush,
there's no
kiddush ala kais to yotzi without it, but
so there's no ava when everybody says kiddush together.
There's nothing wrong. No.
Okay.
The only problem is like this. The only problem is like this. If there's somebody that's not saying kiddush and being yotze, so they have a problem of trade color.
To my wife or whoever.
If you're giving it to your wife and there's 10 people saying kiddush, your wife will not be able to hear you because trade color and mishtami. So if you're being moitzi someone, you should say it first yourself to be moitzi her, and then everybody should say it together, or everybody should say it together, because you always have a problem when a few people are saying it together.
If I know that my wife is not too far away from me, she can hear. If I tell her,
there's a halachic problem of trei kol and mishtama. A lot of people are trying to hear. If you have two people learning the Torah, there's an issue.
So then
if everybody's saying it low,
she can say it for herself. Yeah. Everybody's saying it loud.
Oh, everybody's saying it loud. Yeah. If everybody says it low and you're saying it loud, so someone's going to be yotzi. If everybody's saying it loud,
she should make her own kiddush then, probably.
Or you say it first. You're the Baal Boss. You say it first, and then everybody says it afterwards.
I'm not the Baal Boss. I'm going to guest.
Oh, you're a guest.
Even when I'm home, I'm not the Baal Boss, but
so that's why he comes here.
What would you then suggest if you are the balabas and everyone wants to say it at the same time because that's what they're used to? Tell your wife that be motzi by me, but still she can say it just in case she can't hear it.
If everybody's saying it loud, you may have a problem of her hearing it. That's how you should go about it. Either she should say it, either she could say it. You have a problem. You see, the problem is the second night. The women don't like to say Havdalah. Could say Havdalah, but there's another problem even the first night with the Shachiyanu. The problem with the woman saying the Kiddush is that if they made a Shachiyanu when they really made Hadlokas Nevis, it's a Shiloh where they can make a Shachiyanu again by the Kiddush. So if they're saying it themselves, they really shouldn't say a Shachiyanu again. So if they're mighty from the husband, that's okay. They could say Amen. But if they're saying it Kiddush again themselves and they said a Shachiyanu, they shouldn't make another Shachiyanu.
So we should make the Shachiyanu. So our minhag is everyone tends to say it simultaneously. So if there's an idea that she might not be able to hear,
that's why the women don't say it. The reason why the women don't say the Kiddush and the Yotze with the husbands is because of the Shachiyanu is a problem.
Only because of the Shachiyanu.
Yeah.
Would it be better? But she can't hear me if everyone's saying it together. So
wait. Who's everyone? Who's your house? It's your house?
My house, yeah.
So you tell everybody, you're saying it first, and after you finish saying it, everybody says it together. That's what I do.
Okay.
What if the woman has, what if she brought something new, so can she have in mind something new?
She has said Shachiyanu already. She said Shachiyanu when she lit the neighbors. She said two Shachiyanu. Okay, that's Kiddush. That's Kaddish.
Do I say it together with them the second
time?
No.
It would be better if one person made the Kiddush.
Right.
Do that also. Some people, one person makes Kiddush, everybody's joints. Everybody should hold the kais and then drink it.
And then I go.
When you're done.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
The mitzvah of drinking Berseba. Okay, we just have to move on a little bit because we always see this up next, and all the way up to Kaddish. So the mitzvah to drink Berseba. Now, a person, it's hard to do a Seba today. It's very hard to do. We're not used to it. We don't know what we're doing. And not everything works for a Seba. If you lean on your elbow like this, that's like you're depressed. So maybe that's not a Seba. A Seba, you can lean over the side. If you only have a chair, you can lean over the side of the chair like this. But you should be leaning to the side. It's a little hard to do. Best thing is to have a nice recliner, lie down. The Seba is to lie down on the side. But it's not so easy to do. It's not so easy to do. But a person should lean.
Just to hold the cushion, just
to lean like that. You're not leaning.
That's not leaning?
No, you go like that. You have to lean on something.
Leaning?
You have to lean on something.
All these years I've been wrong.
So lean on the back of your chair like this. So lean on the back of your chair and drink. It's a little hard to do.
You have to lean against something, not just to move over.
Just move over. It's not leaning. That's harder to do.
If I lean against my brother, that's not good enough. Okay.
Depends how hard he is.
We hold like the Rabbi.
What?
So we hold like the Rabbi.
The women hold like the Rabbi. The women don't have to do a Seba. Some do, some don't. The men, we don't pass like the Rabbi. A person should do a Seba. If you can't, if you didn't, there's a shal going back. It's a different sugya. But as far as doing it,
wow, how do you like that?
the woman
And that's a pretty
like
serious
the
thing. I mean, you have to really.
But
I mean, the Seder is it's not just never mind. I withdraw my question.
Orchatz. Oh, for Havdalah, first of all, for Havdalah, when you make Kiddush for Havdalah, so as a Shiloh putting the candles together, not putting it together. So you don't have to put the candles together. So you have a bunch of candles sitting on together. You lit how many candles you light every Friday night. So for Yom Tov, you lit a bunch of candles, so you could just use those candles for Havdalah without putting them together. That's called a Avuka. You have a lot of candles lit in the same area, and you can make Havdalah.
You're not touching them. You're just observing them together.
Observing them, yeah, put your nails in. Some say you don't do that. Oh, yeah, I gotta have in the room there. The side room, so you can go over it. Different rooms already in Shiloh. It's a different room. If you have them in the same room.
Yeah, you can touch them.
So you
Okay,
can't,
wash
you
it.
can't put the candles?
You could. It's not muksa, but the question is putting two candles together and separating. Is machoikas if that's havar.
If we're invited for the second Seder, the Balabait says Havdalah, we don't need to say Havdalah also.
If you're yoitze from him. Yeah, if everybody's yoitze from the Balabait, so you're from the Balabait. Okay, orchatz. So we wash the hands. You don't make a bracha. Why do we wash the hands for orchatz? Because you're dipping. The halacha is that when you dip a vegetable, the tibuli b'mashka, you have to wash your hands, just like you wash your hands for bread. Except we don't make a bracha on that now. We use less than a kazayas. So then for sure it's a machlokes whether you have to wash your hands to make a bracha. Now Hagam, most people are not knowing this all year long. But nonetheless, there's a ganze shaila in the Paiskim whether all year long you have to do it. But we don't. Most people don't do it all year long. But Pesach night we do it. The shaila is why we're so machmir Pesach night over all year long. As part of the Seder to do orchatz, to wash your hands for tibul mashka. There are different reasons given why we're more machmir Pesach night. Either there's reasons as part of the Seder, kadesh yishal atinoikis. And the Netziv writes, the Moedik Pshat, that, and this is a very important aside for the whole Seder night. The entire Seder night, we have to realize that, there's one thing we're missing today, which is the Kam Pesach. But the Seder night is not just a family get-together, geschmacka time. It's a Seder, it's an Avodah, it's a Seder. According to many Shittas, a person is not supposed to talk. A person is not supposed to talk, Divrei Chulin. And not just for Mussar reasons, but for halacha reasons, second things. Okay, we're not as machmer, but a person should care. It's a person standing by the seder. It's a tremendous aliyah a person could have. The Bershom comes down straight in the Zohar to wash the entire seder. So
it's like a zeichel mikdash.
So zeichel mikdash. Bisman mikdash when we were more makbid on Tyrus. Bisman mikdash we were much more makbid on Tyrus because we ate Tyrus. So there for sure we would wash our hands. Anything that's tibul v'mashke that you dip in water in the zayin mashkin, your hands are shiny, so it makes tummy, it makes the food tummy, and we were machmer not to eat any food that was tummy. Before when you're eating a Korban Pesach, anything you eat in the Suda with a Korban Pesach, you want to make sure it doesn't become tummy. So therefore, we would wash the hands before we did tibul v'mashke. So we're making believe we're sitting there in the Seder night with the Korban Pesach. This is why I mentioned before that we don't eat roasted because you can get so into it, you can really think you're eating Korban Pesach. You never know. If you're doing the Seder properly, it was so many years after Beis HaMikdash, but imagine a few years afterwards. So a person could come to make that mistake. So that's why we don't eat roasted. We shouldn't think that we're eating Korban Pesach. So we do things that you do. Now, certain people have a minhag, they want to be daikon washing a Rambam. Certain people have a minhag that only the one that's running the Seder, the Baal Bayis, washes his hand for orchatz. Some people have a minhag that everybody. Most places, everybody washes, but maybe in the bigger Sedarim where it's difficult, there's soymach on that. Not so clear. That's the.
Touch the karpas?
What?
You just touch the karpas?
Yeah.
You just touch it with hands.
If you're washing, you use a fork. What's the point?
Right.
So shy, even using a fork, you have to wash. To dip it in the salt water.
No, but the whole purpose is to wash your hands, and you touch it, so you do the fork, so you need to wash your hands.
But you're not making a bracha anyways.
You're not making a bracha, no.
Hasidim don't use forks.
You mean for anything? For anything. Your children.
Okay. Use hands.
It's all the Baba Church used horse feeding bags.
Those are different.
That's
That's a different sheet.
They say that the Chavetz Chaim once by accident made a bracha by Uchatz, and he was annoyed, but then he was happy. One time in his life he was Makayim the Shita Sagra to make a bracha on washing. To make a bracha on washing. Where would I see something interesting? That yeah, Akaponim. So that's Urchatz. Karpas is a shayla. What you use for karpas different minhagim. Be'etzem halacha, any yerek is kosher for any vegetable is kosher for karpas. The point is you want to make a boy pri adama. L'chatchil should be a boy pri adama because you want to be moitzi the mor boy pri adama. If you don't have a boy pri adama, shaf you can use something which is a shahakol. But if you make a boy pri adama, shaf you can use the mor one. But a person should use today. There's plenty of vegetables around. A person should use a boy pri adama. Some people use it. But the question is, what is really karpas?
There was a vegetable called karpas.
Yeah, what vegetable is that?
Nobody knows.
What?
I'm not that old.
It could be it's parsley. It could be it's celery. There's two shitas. There's parsley or celery for what karpas is. Some people are makbid to use karpas.
Bananas and pineapple.
Yeah, that's for sure not what karpas is. But
they use it for doctor so the kids can ask.
Why is it a pineapple?
Because you're saying a dama on it. To teach them that you say a dama on a pineapple and on a banana.
Oh.
And it makes it more questions. Why are you eating a banana? Never eaten a banana before.
So you have in mind to pater the mora. You're making a boy piadama. You have in mind to pater the mora. Okay, let's just. Time is the yachatz.
This is going to take longer than the
Yachatz. So you split the middle matzah. Right, a larger one goes for the afikomen. The shah is why are you splitting it now? Wait till you get to the matzah. And actually, some Rishonim hold you split it later when you make the bracha on the matzah. So there's different reasons why you split it now. So the big machlokes is how many matzahs used by the Seder? How many matzahs used? Most people use 3. Goyim, Levi, Yisrael, what kind of things, right? But the Goyim use 2. The Rishonim, the machlokes would use 2 or 3. Because why do you need 3? Why would you need 3 matzahs for? When do you have 3 matzahs?
Because you've got moitzi matzah, and then you've got
because you need 2 shleimus. You want to make lechem mishnah. You need 2 shleimus. And since the ikar mitzvah of matzah is a prusa, is a broken one, that's the ikar mitzvah of matzah. It's the achilles matzah like a oni has a broken matzah, so that's not shalem. So therefore you use 2 other matzahs and a broken one. But many hold that no, since Leil Seder the mitzvah is to use a prusa. So that's what you use for your lechem. That has a chashivas of a whole matzah. That's what you need. So you don't need a 3rd matzah. But that's only true if your kam's broken. But if you have a whole matzah and you break it, so that's a chesaron in the lechem mishnah. So therefore, those that use 2 matzahs have to break the matzah earlier, that it should have the chashivas. You don't want to break the matzah and then use it for your lechem mishnah. So therefore, you break it before the Seder, and then you come later and you have it. We use 3.
I thought you needed shleimas twice for some reason. Maybe once for the moitzi matzah, the other one for the koyref or something.
No, you need 2 shleimas just for otherwise you only need 1 shleimas.
You need 1 shleimas.
You need 2 shleimas for the.
That's why you do yachatz before magi.
That's why you yachatz before magi. It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons. The other reason is because you want to be lechem sha'onim by dvarim happy. You want to do magid on matzah, so on the prusa you want to have it broken, and you do the magid on the prusa. That's why the matzahs are uncovered during the Seder, because you say the Haggadah on the prusa. Okay, there's different hagam in this, but Akapanim. What?
I'm lost. So why do you need 3?
There's moitzi and matzah. Okay, there's moitzi and matzah. Moitzi is the
right.
moitzi lechem ha'aretz.
That's right.
And matzah is the achilas matzah.
Oh, that's what I thought. So that's why you.
So that's why two. That's two. There's moitzi and there's matzah. The top matzah.
There's two for moitzi.
Hey, listen. The top matzah is moitzi.
Right.
And the middle matzah is moitzi as matzah. It's the birchas matzah. We split into two parts. There's moitzi and there's matzah. So the moitzi is the first one, and the second one is the matzah. Now, why do you need a third one for? You have two already. You have lechem mishnah.
Right. So that's what you need the third one.
So the third one, because the second one is not whole, so we use a third one for a shalim. That's why when you make the bracha moitzi, you make a bracha.
What do you give if it's not whole instead? What do you need the third one?
Two shleimus for lechem mishnah.
But you already made the moitzi. What am I?
You make the brachas moitzi, you should have two shleimus.
Right.
So you only have the top one. All you need for the mitzvah is one from moitzi, one from matzah. So what do I need the bottom one for? To have two shleimus for.
What happened to the middle one?
You broke
Still there, it's broken.
And I.
Your kids took the other path.
Right, and I. Wait. Why did I break it? I broke it because.
Just for the point here that. It's like just for the point when you make the hamoitzi, right? So you hold all three matzahs because you're making the hamoitzi.
Right.
You need two shleimus, then you drop the bottom one after you make the hamoitzi, and then you're making the achilas matzah. You're still holding the top to make achilas matzah.
Right, you break the middle one because you have to put away for the afikoyman or something. I mean, that's what you do with it when you break it.
You break the middle one. Half goes for the afikoyman and half goes for the mitzvahs al achilas matzah. You make a bracha al achilas matzah and use that other half for that.
Right.
Okay, look at you.
Sorry, never mind.
So that's the break. That's yachatz. And there's a big sign in them that you're putting away here for the afikoyim. You're hiding it. It's softened. You're hiding it, and it's hidden away. Shows why you're hiding it. There's a lot of things going on here, which of course there's a lot of siders. But the aleph base is that there's two actually conflicting minhagim with the afikoyim. One is supposed to put away in a watched place. This is why you want to watch it. It represents the Korban Pesach, and the Korban Pesach has to be watched the whole time. It can't be left alone. Korban Pesach has to be watched. So you put it away where you know where it is, and then there's a conflicting minute where the kid steals it. You don't know where it is. And the point is that you want to make sure you don't forget to eat afikoymen on the time. So the kid is always waiting for you to run out to find the whole Seder and Machin Meshuggah. They have to go find the afikoymen. So one thing you won't forget is to eat the afikoymen at the end. That's the point. The point is that someone takes it to remind you to eat the afikoymen. The fact it's actually the chaytvinas matzahs. They grab the matzahs. That's where the minute comes that they steal the matzahs and hide it. Some people don't like them. They're stealing, whatever. Like part of there's a different minhagim. Who steals it? Who takes it from Huda matzahs? Who puts it away? But there's such a minhag that they steal it and what?
The kid falls asleep in your pocket.
And then you're stuck. You don't know where it is. Yeah.
Long Seder.
But the Musa Shabbai is that the Safan is put away, lost Lavai is put away. The first half of the Seder, until the benching refers to everything's about Yitzis Mitzrayim, going out of Mitzrayim. That was the Gula. And the second half of the Seder, the second half of Halal is split. The first half of Halal we say during Magid, and the second half of Halal we say at the end. First half of Halal is Yitzis Mitzrayim. The second half of Halal is full of Asad Lavai.
The Gula, right?
The Gula, Shleim, Sida, the Kaishal Yo. The Afikoyman is already represents that. It's hidden from us. We don't know when it's going to happen, but the time will come. Unfortunately, we didn't get too far over here. We didn't get too far into the Haggadah.
We should do a double session today.
What?
The size of the matzah more, right?
Yes. So.
The volume of the wine too.
Type of wine.
To get that clear.
Okay, I'll just go through quickly what you should use for wine and for matzah. So for wine, the type of wine is she's red wine. Since it's red wine. So if you want to mix it with white wine, you should put the red wine first and then the white wine on top. You put the red grape juice on the bottom and the white wine on top. You don't want to put the white wine, then you're pouring in the red to make it color. There's an Indian to have it colored red, so you should first put the red and then the white on top of it. But Akapanim, you should have red wine. Yes, so Mavushal, not Mavushal. So Hagam that there's a Chatchila to have non-Mavushal. But you have to know that today's Mavushal wines really, Mikra Adin, are not considered Mavushal. In other words, it's not a Mavushal that it takes away the quality of the wine, so therefore one could use Mavushal wine. It doesn't really take away. So the Mahad's use non-Mavushal wine, you have to be careful who's that to say, there are all kinds of things. But the Maisa, the Mavushal wine we have today doesn't really take away from the Chashivas of the wine. Whether it's wine or grape juice, some hold it's l'chatchila to use wine. Others hold that you could be yotze l'chatchila with grape juice. The minhag is for noshim and katanim, we're not makbid on wine, they use grape juice. For men, if they could, they should try to use wine. You could dilute it up to 50%, a little less than 50% water if it's necessary, or grape juice if necessary.
Even white wine?
Mix it, what?
Even the white wine?
Yeah, even white wines.
Have you sizzling wine?
It depends how they became light, I don't know. What?
Have you sizzling wine?
Who?
Sizzling, like with the soda?
Bubbly.
Yeah, I don't
Sparkling.
know. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference.
when you drink a kos, you have to drink it all at once.
Now, when you drink the kais, the shear of the kais, there are many different shiurim. There's a sheet. There's actually piles of sheets with shiurim on the thing. You could take had a kasha in your kitchen, all kinds of things, induction ovens and new things. It's on the beamer there if you want to take a sheet. I had a kasha, and there's a sheet also with shiurim, which isn't so clear. The problem with shiurim is that there's a lot of different shiurim, especially comes with the matzahs. Each matzah is baked with a different size, so it's very hard to say what the shear is. Different thickness, different everything. It's very hard to give a shear. But as far as the kais goes, that for kiddush, which is deraisa, you machmer a little bit more. If you want to go to chazanish, it's 5.1 ounces. If you want to go to Moshe, it's 3.3 ounces. The one necessary could definitely go with the 3.3 ounce kais.
And you just drink rough kos.
And for the other kaises, for sure, over 3 ounces you don't need. For the other shiurim,
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
all the other kaises, the 3 ounce kais
It's fine.
it's fine.
What if you've diluted it?
Avada, someone that should have a larger kaisa, 4 ounce, but 4 ounce. But someone that needs to drink less could have a 3 ounce kaisa.
If you've diluted,
0.3 l'chatchila.
if you've diluted, you still can go with that.
Doesn't matter. It's all wine. It's all considered wine.
When you drink the kos,
it's all considered wine.
you just drink rough kos, like just more than.
And you should drink roiv kais. Someone that can't drink roiv kais, at least should drink mali lugma. But you should try to drink roiv the kais. That's why you should have a small kais.
Now quickly back.
And you drink it in 2 gulps. 2 gulps you drink it. 2 gulps.
Yeah.
So you can't, you drink it more. But that's 2 gulps.
So back to that hand matzah. I mean, there must be a safe shear. I mean, a little bit thick, a little bit thick, but round hand matzahs are pretty much all the same size.
The hand matzahs are very much different. There's 7 to a pound. There's 8 matzahs to a pound. There's 9 matzahs to a pound. The general rule for the matzah is.
So what's a safe bet?
You have to understand that I can't go into everything. We're off time now, but this that we have 2 kazesim for the moitzi matzah is a chumrah. It's a chumrah. Some people, only the balabais has 2 kazesim for the matzah. Really, only need 1 kazayis for the matzah. Just the kazayis deraisa, the machma that was skatlu abeim, is twice the size as the kazayis to abonim. So it ends up from moitzi matzah, you end up having 2 kazesim anyways, because you want to be yoitz to the shitas that was skatlu abeim.
So what is that?
So
you take a round piece of matzah, half. What is the kazayis?
Half is way more than a kazayis. You don't need half of a round matzah. Less than half. It's way more than 2 kazaysim. You can have for moitzi matzah about let's see 3/8 of a matzah maybe.
That's pretty close to a half.
It's close to a half. But say you had half for moitzi matzah, 3/8, and for the rest of them you could have much less. You could have
Like a quarter?
You could have a fifth of the matzah. Fifth of a matzah. Berech, it's hard to give exact shear, but that's more than enough for the other ones.
So for moitzi
One
matzah,
should
you
eat.
stick with the
Yeah. One should try to eat it as quick as possible, within 2 minutes, at least within 4 minutes. Eating 2 kazesim. One should try to eat it at least within 4 minutes, but the chatchil within 2 minutes. The shear each time.
In the Mara?
The Mara also 4 stalks about that size, 3 stalks about 4 inches long. 3 stalks about 4 inches long. Without the leaf is a kazayis. It's hard to measure with the leaves to know what's a kazayis.
And
if you have one leaf, one large leaf, and you put in a little small piece of stalk with it, usually it's enough for a kazayis.
Okay, so 3 or 4 stalks, or 1 with the stalk.
One with a little stalk.
And what effect does the horseradish have if you put that?
Could be ones that it's hard to know. It's very hard to measure these things. It goes by volume, and the volumes change according to the size of each leaf.
Afikoim is only 1 kazayis?
What?
Afikoim is only 1 kazayis?
Afikoim is 2 kazayis, but again, it's all a chumrah. 2 kazesim, so it's a chumrah, yeah.
So if you're eating mara, you're putting the horseradish itself. That's not mitzdaref with the...
It is mistarif. The horseradish is mistarif, yeah. It's mistarif, yeah.
How much it burns your brains out, or just
it's
the
mistarif.
value?
It's mistarif.
So usually we put a couple of leaves and put...
Yeah, you can do that. You could put a little bit in. You put the horseradish in there.
What's mistarf mean?
It
You
joins
put
up.
the two types of moras together and eat it.
Combines.
Yeah, you can combine it.
Because usually my family put in them.
Yeah, you can
Thanks a lot.
It just came to me. I just heard it. I don't know.
Okay, now when you give out the matzahs, it's always complicated. You have a lot of people eating. If each person has their own 3 matzahs, it's geschmack. But if not, you have to give out. So you should really set up beforehand to give out a kazayas or whatever share you're giving to each person. You should give out, and before you make the bracha. And then when you make the bracha, you could just give a little piece of yours. You give a piece, and they could hand around a little piece from yours. This way, you don't have such a hefsek between the.
So give it out first, then make the bracha.
Give out kazayas to each person. Then the yoitz with your bracha on the lechem mishnah, and then you just give a piece of your matzah, a little piece to everybody. You could give a piece. They could break off a teeny piece for everyone, and that's enough. That takes it away from the And the moral also, you should give out to everyone before you make the bracha. If they make their own bracha, it doesn't matter.
Organize it, prepare before Yom Tov, little bags.
If you're yakka, you prepare before Yom Tov.
Sure.
If you're late, then
So again,
there's no problem.
give it out.
So again, the leaves, that's one leaf and like one stalk.
They said you prepare when
You could do that one bag from the store.
And one side that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the size of the leaf.
Are you available to come to my house?
I'm not available. There's a service charge.
The mara we have, yeah, the back of my
Your
head.
karmas also, if you're not on a cop's tomorrow.
That's a great
also.
idea.
The shear on the
That way you just give them out and
machine
finish. You know?
Rabbi Scheiner, what
The
do we
machine-made matzah is smaller, so you should, for at least 2/3 of the matzah should be used for a share.
That's very smart.
2 kazesim.